my delight to have Lou Tice come to the stage and show you just how he works his magic and how that magic is going to come out and play in you, because it is just like us to be great. Lou, welcome. Thank you, sir.
Oh, don't you think with an introduction like that I should be taller? Geez. Well, you are an organization of convincingly great human beings, demonstrated not just by being good, but by the action you take. Anybody can be good, but you've got to step out and help others, and I could see that. You did bring tears to my eyes. That's the heart part. But sometimes heart's not enough. You've got to think effectively. So I thought today I would just explain to you a little bit about what it's like to think most effectively. The first thing that is so essential, particularly as you were saying, Chris, when things are difficult, you've got to, you or me, and it doesn't need to be the business in a difficulty. It could be your family or yourself or your health. You've got to understand and take and really believe that the causality to the solutions that I need are not so much outside of me, but they're inside of me. Now, what that is called is the locus of control. Is it in the stars? Are my stars aligned? Or is it inside me? Do you wait to win the lottery and hopefully something will transform my life from a frog to a prince or a princess? Or am I going to cause it? Is it outside of me or inside of me? Now, for Snyder, I want you to think that yes, there's going to be all kinds of external circumstances that will affect the economy or affect our business. But we are so capable and so smart, we are so strong, we are so efficacious, that regardless of what is thrown at us, we will think our way through it and we will keep our heart. Now, how do we do that? There's several things that need to be thought through. One is we need ideas and innovation, not just from the few award winners. We need everybody to figure out how to take this organization to another level. How can we think ourselves through any present situation? Now, I think you need to know how powerful the mind is. And one of the important things to remember is just because it's 208, I've heard so many people around me say, oh, this is going to be a great year. 208 is going to be wonderful. I mean, how come it's not, how is it going to be just wishing it so? Magically so? Just because the year changed, it's going to be so? That's not true. You've got to change your mind. Now, here is how your mind works. You and I, as human beings, are what we might call teleological. You seek goals. You seek objects. Like a missile, you seek. So in your mind, you need a picture or a target. Whether you put one in deliberately doesn't matter, because it's just kind of the way your day goes or your life goes or the neighborhood you're in or the business you're in or what we've done before. So if you don't put into your brain or into your mind a new target to create, a new situation to create, a new idea of what you want to create, guess what happens? Inside you, you know you need a goal so desperately that if you don't have a goal, human beings die. You die. You intuitively know that. So if you don't give yourself something new to create or seek, you reproduce what you did last year, this year. You reproduce the way you did things socially, the way you drove to work, the way you spend your weekend, what you order at the restaurant. Things don't change much, unless the economy changes or something outside of me changes. So the whole thing is, it's all about pictures. It's all about images, because human beings think in images or think in pictures. So you, at every level, need to decide what is the new level of normal for us. What's going to be the future that we're going to seek? Once you clearly decide that within yourself, for your family, or for yourself, or for your department, or for Snyder itself, what is the new picture we're seeking? Now, that's not enough. Then you need to take that picture that you have, that dream that you have, and you need to not just make a New Year's resolution, and I'll tell you why in a moment. What you need to be able to do is to infuse that new picture of the way you want your life to go, the way you want your home to look, the way you want your garden to look, the way you want your social life to look. You've got to infuse into yourself a new picture to give this wonderful, powerful system inside you an opportunity to use its power and its creativity to create the outside to match the inside. But if you don't give yourself a new picture, you almost become a victim of the circumstances outside yourself. If you don't give yourself a new picture, you become susceptible to the strongest voice inside of Snyder, and it could be a negative voice instead of a positive voice. You could become the victim of a negative community or the negative press. See, you've got to seek something, and if you don't take charge of the something, you become so susceptible to anybody around you who has an idea, because you must seek some picture. So it's like if I leave my glasses at home and we're out at a restaurant and I'm sitting around, this happens too often, I can't even read the menu, and so I'm sitting around, what are you gonna have? Oh, I don't know. What are you gonna have? I don't know. Oh, that sounds good. I think I'll have that too. See, I can't make up my own mind. It's almost like, will you please tell me what? Or sitting around on a weekend, if I can't think of anything good to do, I say, well, what do you want to do? Oh, I don't know. What do you want to do? Oh, I don't know. What do you want? Oh, that sounds good. I mean, that's the way we live our lives if we don't take charge of our future. So really, it's inside me and it's not outside. It's all about pictures. And the pictures have a lot to do with the way you speak to yourself and what you talk about. You move toward what you think about. You become like that, what you think about. And those of you that have experienced this, but those of you have not, you know you think in 3 dimensions. You think with language. The language triggers an image or triggers a picture. And the pictures create an emotion or a feeling. So it's really all about pictures, and it's all about feeling. And you're in control of the picture, whether you want to or not. You have the power to control the picture. And this thinking is called self-talk. It's the conversation you carry on in your own head. It's how you speak to yourself, even while I'm speaking to you. You speak to yourself 3 times as fast. When I stop, you speed up 6 times faster. Well, that conversation doesn't disappear into the air. That conversation accumulates to become a belief. Once you get a belief, here's the bad part. Once you get a belief about the way the market is, or the way you are, or the way your life is, or the way someone else is, you act like the belief, whether it's true or not. And so you'll even see on television, I see now people are talking about the fear of the future of the economy, the fear of this, and this is going to happen, like they're damn prophets. I mean, how do they know? But I'm going to tell you what, they can get you thinking that way, and they can create a recession. See, if you move towards what you think about, and you're thinking about the awful times, and things are going to, they'll get enough people thinking about it, the people will back off, become conservative, and act like it's the truth. They become great prophets. Don't let them. You control in your own mind the way you want. Let the others in your industry worry about that. You're going to take advantage of it. You're going to control the way you think. You're going to control your inner strength, your inner efficacy. You're going to make things happen while the others are intimidated and backing off. That's because you're going to think differently. Now, there are 4 levels of self-talk. I want you to guard against these levels, particularly, as Chris was saying, you define who you are, not when things are going well, but when things are a little bit tough. It's how do you respond to stress? How do you respond? Does it turn you on, these difficult circumstances, or does it turn you off? See? And so what you want to do is you want to have these problems and these situations and these circumstances stimulate the best of you, stimulate the creativity in you. But what you need to watch is how you speak to one another, because you can collectively talk yourself into a depression. So there are 4 levels of self-talk, and I want you to be alert for them. The lowest level is, you'll hear it, it's negative resignation. There's nothing we can do about the situation. There's no way. See, they talk as though they're so inefficacious, uncausative, out of control. There's nothing we can do about it. That's the lowest level of conversation. Get out of it. Don't let it happen. The second level. The second level, you'll hear people say, we should, I could, if only, I wish. Now, when you hear the second level, it's recognizing that there is a problem, but I have no intention of doing anything about it. See, my conversation should go maybe like, I should wait. I should lose weight. I could lose weight. I ought to lose weight. I wish I could lose weight, but I'm not gonna. I should save money. Oh, yes, this year I could save money. I ought to save money. I wish I could save money, but I'm not going to. So when you hear people converse about should, could, which, if only, it's always to recognize a problem, but we have absolutely no intention of doing anything about it. That's the second level. Get out of that frame of mind, or nothing is going to change. The third is when you would say, it's like a vow. You make a vow, I'll never eat that stuff, whatever it is. Okay, vows do work. Really work. After all, when you got married, you took a vow. Did you know that? You want to know how powerful belief is in vows? My gosh. It's like 2 people are single. They go to a rite of passage, like a wedding ceremony. I'm going to tell you how powerful vows are. And this minister, rabbi, priest, or preacher says, do you take this woman to be? And with one vow, you say, I do. Do you take this man to be? And with one vow, you say, I do. And this rabbi, minister, priest says, by the power vested in me, given to me by the Holy Church of the state of Wisconsin, I now pronounce you man and wife. And now you believe you're married. That's how powerful beliefs are. Think about it. You come in single, you go out married. And all you did was say, I do. That's how powerful your mind is. See, beliefs are that powerful. And then you act and you behave like your beliefs. So the third level is this vow, no more. I quit smoking. No more. I won't treat people that way. No more. You see, that's a vow, and you probably will stop the behavior. But what's absent? What is absent when you do that? See, if you're teleological, you need a new picture to seek. You need a new picture to seek, or you always go back to your old way. You need to give yourself a new image to seek, or you always seek the familiar. So you've got to take charge. You've got to take charge of the images with which you will seek this year and next year. Or you will seek the familiar, the way it was, or you'll seek the loudest voice. You'll seek somebody else's picture. You'll let somebody else create the life that you will live out this next year in your business or the year after. You must take charge of the images you hold in your mind. It's that powerful. And collectively, it's going to be pretty hard to overrun you if you collectively think this way. And think about it. I don't know of any other person competing in your business who has this knowledge. not formally like you're being presented, they don't know any better. They'll let the external world cause them to give up hope or to act in a certain way or to resign themselves to, well, we'll just have to ride this out. Why would we want to allow ourselves to ride this out? Whatever it is we're talking about. We are going to change in our mind so strongly the image and hold to the image of the excellence that we want. We're going to hold to that collectively. The critical mass of this organization is going to hold in their mind the future that you deserve and the future that you want. And even though external circumstances, you will think your way out of it. So the fourth level of self-talk is to take control of the images and the pictures that you want to reproduce tomorrow, next week, next year in your life. You are in control more than you want to give credit to. I can remember when I first found this information, and I came to the realization that, my gosh, if it's up to me, if it's to be, it is up to me. And I thought, and I'm not making this up, I thought, I hope that's not true. I mean, it's me? I mean, in my life, it's dependent on me? I honest to goodness thought that way. Because I knew what a screw-up I was. See, I knew. I just hoped it wasn't up to me. But then when you come to the realization that that's really the way human beings are built and the way that you think, then, yes, I got it. I got it. And it isn't like things go well all the time for us or me either. I think if I went over and looked at my history of 30-some years of running a business, I would guess I have lost, I was going to say pissed away, I won't say that, $60 million in stupid mistakes along the way. I didn't intend to make them. But we made more than that, unfortunately. So it isn't like things go well all the time. It has a lot to do with your resiliency inside, with your persistency inside. See, I am so strong inside of me, I became that way. I built myself that way. And I would say these hard times that you're going to go through are not only going to be what you're going to do now, but it's going to make you so tough for the future. It's going to give you longer legs for bigger strides in the future. See, when things are going easy, you don't really develop your character as well as when things aren't going easy. So this whole idea for you is you're not good enough yet, and this is a test to get gooder. Got it? Now, if you are of an old way of thinking, an old culture, the old Newtonian culture that many of us were in the military or in schools or in churches, we were taught without wanting to be taught, and we didn't even know we were being taught. We were taught in a way like God the Creator created a perfect universe, so don't mess with it. God the Creator created a perfect universe with one exception, and that's people. So people were viewed as basically evil, basically sinful. How come? Because you're trying to change God's universe. So, with God being an absentee owner, somebody said, these people are running amok and screwing up the world. Somebody's got to control them for God, who was an absentee owner. So that was where the divine right of kings came in. That is why, I'm a Catholic. That's why we have a pope, because you know how we are. Making our own decisions, we'll just screw things up and run amok. And that's why God said that the father is the head of the family. You know how women are. Left on their own, they're going to run amok and just ruin everything. So they need control. Now, that is kind of the way history used to be, with layers and layers of management, and each layer not trusting the other layer. Just do your job, shut up, I'll tell you what to do. Because if you do it, I know you can't be trusted, and I know you'll screw things up. And so this is kind of the way historically organizations, systems, government systems, military, churches, schools, it's always the people on the top that do the thinking and the people on the bottom that get thunk. It's like, tell me what to do. I'm a willing servant, willing to do it. I'm just not going to do it if you don't tell me. I feel like I can't take any initiative because then the people on the top will scold me, will yell at me, will punish me, will not advance me. And so I'll do what you tell me, but if you don't tell me, I feel justified in doing nothing. Now there's a shift, and this is where Snyder's going. Yes, God the Creator created a perfect universe, but creation isn't over. That's called the Whiteheadian worldview. And human beings aren't basically stupid or evil. They're not trying to screw up the earth. You're supposed to use your creativity to create new ways of transportation, new ways of helping people medically, new ways of running your world. See, you're supposed to use your imagination. You're supposed to use your creativity. You're supposed to figure it out. You are co-responsible creative agents with God. Now let's set God aside here. You could either be the kind of people in Snyder and saying, when in the hell are those people at the top going to figure things out? Can't they see what the economy is like? Can't they see that we are not doing as well as we should? When are they going to come up with a solution? That's the Newtonian. The Whiteheadian is, when are we going to figure it out? We are co-responsible for the financial viability and for the success of this and the retaining of our friends and their employment and their family success. We are co-responsible in this together, and we will all come up with bright ideas. Every one of us is going to figure out how to do our job better. We are going to create a better world. Our world is going to become better. So, Chris, when you were asking for innovation and creativity, it isn't going to come from the top. It won't come from management. It's those of you that are on the work, just right at where the work starts. You got to figure out a better way. Everybody will figure out a better way. And nobody in the world in your business can stand to compete with you, because you're going to use the genius and the creativity of everybody in this organization. That is what you're transforming to. That is what, so you got to be co-responsible. See, you got to feel like this is my family. I am accountable. You don't sit on what you're sitting on, and you don't then sit around and wait for people to figure it out. We've got to figure it out. Now, how do we get to become innovative and creative? Easy. When you set a new goal, let me just explain to you quickly. See, I'm going to talk briefly about Gestalt and how your mind works. You're always working for order in your mind. Order. It's like, you know how things are supposed to be? You and I. And if you walk into a room and the picture on the wall is crooked, it can drive some of you crazy. You know, it's like, geez, that bothers me. Well, why does it bother you? Because it doesn't look right to me. It doesn't look right to me. So it doesn't even need to be your house. You'll get up and try to straighten it back. How? Straighten it back. How? Straighten it back. How? The way it's always been. The way it's supposed to be. So inside of every human's mind is the way my job is supposed to be, the way our business is supposed to be. But, you see, when it's out of order, your first tendency is to restore order back to the familiar, back to the way it used to be. See, human beings seek the familiar. We always seek what's familiar. So your job is to make the future you want more familiar than the way you are now. It's all about familiarizing the future. Goal setting is making the future you want more familiar to your mind than the way you presently live. Now, when you make the future that you're seeking more familiar, the way you want it, what happens inside of you is you throw your inside out of order. It borderlines on insanity. You almost make yourself crazy. That's all right if it's done right. So you're out of order, and when you're out of order, it's urgent inside the human being to restore order. I've got to put things back together now. So when you're out of order, you get energy. You don't have energy if things look all right. You get energy when things don't look all right, and you make them not look all right by making the future you're seeking more familiar than the way you're living now. So you get enough energy to move towards the new image. When you're out of order, you need ideas, creativity. You don't get ideas when things look all right. You get ideas when things don't look all right. So when you throw yourself out of order, you're at your creative, innovative best. Your subconscious, this isn't brainstorming, you will invent your future. You will create ways of getting where you want to go. When you're out of order, you are at your innovative, creative best to restore order. But in what direction will we use our energy? In what direction will we use our creativity? Will we move to the new, or will we go back to the old? What determines the direction you will get the energy, that determines the direction in which you will use your creativity, is the strongest picture. The strongest picture. So, if you collectively create a strong picture of the future that you want, you will then generate the energy and the creativity to transform the environment or the work environment you're in from the present status quo to the ideal that you're seeking. That is the way human beings think. It's all about pictures. It's all about pictures. So if you're around people who are doom and gloom and ain't it awful and things are going to hell, they're giving you a picture of failure, a picture of retreat, a picture of giving up, a picture of resignation, a picture of being a victim of the way the world is. Come on, come on, come on. If the one thing you could teach your children is to be your own person and do your own thinking, stop letting the bully on the schoolyard tell you what. Stop letting a teacher who doesn't know any better tell you what your future is like. You take charge of your future. You invent your future. You create your future. This is not a pep. This is just the truth. That is the way I think. This is the way we live. This is the way people at their best should live. You can invent your future. You can take charge of it, particularly with creativity and energy coming from every level of Snyder, not just at the top. Otherwise, we sit on our butts and we wait for them to invent the way to go. And then we resist the picture they give us anyway. Because the boss can have a picture of the future, but if the whole critical mass doesn't have the picture, then you've got a few thousand people pulling backwards and about 20 of them leading forward. And you're not bad people to do so. You're just going back to the familiar, just like the picture on the wall being crooked. See somebody come and turn the picture, some pictures in your house. Watch your family. It goes right back to the old way. That's the way life is. So what you've got to be able to do is, all of you, if you can collectively embody the picture of the way you want your future, nobody, nothing can hold you back. You are too powerful. You're too collectively big. And the reason this is a great, great opportunity. Because those competitors, those other people, similar business that you're in, they don't think this way. They're just normal folks. Letting the outside influence their inside. Your inside is going to influence the outside. That's the way you think. Now, I'm going to close by giving you a test. You ready for this? This is a test. Your whole future depends on your getting this test right. So be careful. Okay. Steve, are we all set up back there at the back? Okay. I'm going to project onto the screen a test, and this test is going to show two teams. One team is dressed in white shirts. The other team is dressed in black shirts. The team dressed in white shirts will be passing a basketball to one another. Your job will be to count the number of passes made by the team dressed in white shirts. Not easy, because the team dressed in black shirts is passing a basketball at the same time in between the team dressed in white shirts. Now, again, what's your job? Count the number of passes made by the team dressed in. You got it. Ready? Now there's a prize for the right answer. We're seeing how well you can focus and how well you can concentrate. And can you not be distracted? Can you just focus on your future? Okay, can you run that for me?
And in this video, there are 3 players wearing white shirts passing a basketball. And your task is to count how many passes they make.
It sounds simple, but it's not. It's made harder by the fact that there are also 3 players with black shirts, and they're tossing around passes too. Now remember, as you watch this video, only count the passes by the white team.
Remember, white team only.
Start
white
counting.
Team only. Now, how many? Okay, 15. How many said 15? Hands up. How many said 16? Good. Anybody say 17? Good for you. Any 18? 118. How many saw the gorilla? The gorilla? You were looking for a gorilla. You didn't know it. Right in front of your eyes. Let's see it one more time. This time, don't do what I told you. Watch the black.
And your task is to count how many passes they make.
It sounds simple, but it's not. It's made harder by the fact that there are also 3 players with black shirts, and they're tossing around passes too. Now remember, as you watch this video, only count the passes by the white team. Are you ready? Start counting.
Okay, anybody see a gorilla? Okay, that's enough. Now, where did that come from? Oh, he changed the video. No. It's all in what you focus on. It's all in who you listen to. What you're experiencing is what we all know as a scotoma, a blind spot. And when your mind is made up in a certain way, you can't see another way. So when you're focusing on the white, you automatically block out or lock out everything in black. It's going to be very important to be skeptical of the information that is coming your way, skeptical of who's telling you the way the market is or what can't be done or what can be done. Because if you buy into the wrong information, you will not see the right information. If you buy into there's no way, your body, your mind automatically blocks out the way. That's another thing we know about being. You want now especially to become a critical listener. You want to become a skeptical listener of the realities that are coming your way. Because if word on the street or the people on television or somebody else says, and you go, I got it. But if there's another way, you'll never see it. I learned that a long time ago, maybe 40 years ago. So I become a person who is hard. I'm very careful about who I listen to. And I'm very careful about the information. I dispute the information that is constantly coming away. Because it could be true, so I've got to be careful. But if it isn't true, I've had it. I can't see the gorilla. That's called the lock-on, lock-out principle. So whose opinions, whose truths are you going to lock on to? Are you going to lock on to the market is this, it's that, yeah. Well, if there was another way, we'd see it, wouldn't we? And the answer is no. You won't physically see it or hear it. You're going to become such option-thinking, creative people. You're going to be can-do. You're going to find a way while others are absolutely wallowing in self-pity, victimized by whatever the circumstances outside is. But Snyder is not that way. We think right. We think different. We think effective. That's who you are. And it starts right here on how you talk to yourself and who you listen to. Be careful of the information you accept. It becomes the sure enough principle. You expect a bad day, and sure enough it is. Because if you expect a bad day, you go out and you build a scotoma instead of to the gorilla, you build a scotoma to everything good. And the only thing you let go through is the bad, the awful, the ugly. So you've got to be careful where your starting premise is, where your mind is. You've got to become optimistic and not pessimistic. You still need to look for the truth, but you need to be inventive, you need to be creative, you need to be accountable. You need to say to yourself, we together, all together, will find a way. We are so inventive, so creative, we will find a way. Let the others suffer. Let the others talk themselves out of a future. And we are going to take charge of the marketplace. Now, this is not a pep talk. This is just the truth. This is the way you think. This is the way you will think. This, if you think this way collectively, you got it. You've not only got what you wanted, you're going to have the greatest share of the marketplace. You're going to take over. They won't even know where you came from. This is how Schneider thinks from here forward. Thank you very much.